Hello, Cancers. We're reading from Insight Readings with your insights for the month of Q1. Just a little bit of astrology, and then we'll go into the tarot of the two houses I want to focus on. And for Cancer, it'll be your 8th and 11th house. So I just want to call them spirit guides. So guardians of the four corners, angels, ancestors, and sacred ones. I call on you and welcome you here now. Thank you for clarity, wisdom, and understanding for the messages for Cancer. 21. Thank you. Amen. Okay, so we're going to do this short and quick, Cancer. You are the last of recordings, and I'm doing them as per the most views, and you are the last that I'm uploading, so it's the least views I have. So I'm going to keep this short and sweet and honor the ones that have put in the views, and I must apologize for that, but I have to be fair and put the energy where it's warranted or needed or called. So we start off the month, we ended the month of 28th, 29th with a full moon in Leo. Leo is your second house of your earned income, and finances and property. So there's some realization that you received on that, but it's money that you earn yourself with an opposition about other people's money. So there's definitely this focus on your money that you earn by your own efforts and other people's resources and money, but resources are a big feature here. Then on the 1st of February, seeing it is a February reading, we have the moon in Gemini. Gemini is about being analytical, using your mind, being discerning. What other energies are there? Virgo is definitely about using Mercury. Mercury went retrograde at the end of the month. The last day of February, there's a retrograde. Whenever Mercury is retrograde or planet is, it's redo, revisit, revise, something on an analytical level. So let's do the moon. The moon in the sign of Virgo. So what is the energy? It is your ruling planet, the moon, and this is a general reading, so you've got to look at your rising, your moon, or your sun. So the moon, your ruler in Virgo, how does she come across? Remember, the moon relates to woman or to emotions or to relationship or love. So she would be reserved, modest, meticulous, or fastidious, timid, and nervous. So keep that in mind. On the 2nd of February, we have this change where we've had this dynamic, plutonic difficulty here with explosive emotional tendencies to being neurotic about something, because Pluto is bringing it out in the relationships and other people, working with business partners, something that's very difficult and being brought up. That has been training your long-term goals, dreams, desires, and wishes, okay? Which is also two major planets as well there, being in fixed signs. So we'll go into that because I'm focusing on those two houses. But the 2nd of February, we have Venus that moves across the sign barrier into this Aquarius sign. So Venus is about money, woman, love. Okay, crosses a barrier, complete different energies. And then the last date I want to bring into it is the 10th of February. I'm not doing the whole month. 10th of February, we have the moon there. So now we have 6 planets in one house. Significant changes for you in this house, Cancer. And that squares off against this 11th house. So 11th houses are the houses I'm bringing into it, but I want to give you the energies of these planets here. Jupiter and Saturn is about something from an older person or something that's been long put there, placed there, and Jupiter is expansion, goodwill, something good that comes through. It's benefic. That's being hidden. It's under the beams of the sun. They are too close to the sun, so the brightness of the sun covers it, and you can't see them. So you don't have the knowledge of that yet, but it's there. Okay. Saturn and Jupiter bring that promise. It's rules and regulations as well, and government on a mundane level. But the sun here is in its fall. So it comes from a solar figure above, somebody in authority, somebody in their fall. It could be Sadly, it could be the death of a solar figure in your life, somebody that is important, a father, a husband, something like that, masculine or a boss or something, because it's in the 8th house there. Life is a cycle and it's terrible to bring these things through, but this is what the planets signify. And if this is difficult to watch and one can't handle this, if you find that it is difficult, then this reading isn't for you, Cancer. And I get that, I understand that, but life is real and life is cycles. And for those that can and want to see the truth of what this is, or a possibility, or an ending, and needn't be death, but it's transformation of some major sort, because there's a new moon here. New moon signifies something that comes to an end, a surrender for something new to start. That squares this year. So the energies of these planets in Aquarius, the Sun is about independence in Aquarius for sure, but in Aquarian nature, okay. So the Sun in Aquarius is about being detached, independent, reformative, idealistic, or unconventional, erratic, or rebellious. The Moon in Aquarius, again, being detached, courteous, imaginative, dispassionate, or unpredictable, erratic, and aloof. Mercury, that you're revisiting in the sign of Aquarius. What does Mercury bring? So Mercury brings being original, inventive, inquisitive, or eccentric, abrupt, or contrary. And Venus. Venus in Aquarius is coolly affectionate, friendly, quiet, idealistic, or touchy, uncompromising, and having unconventional desires. So that's what the planets signify. Then you have this squaring off here, okay? So Uranus and Mars are conjunct, their energies, okay? And they're in a fixed sign, so it's 2 fixed signs here. Uranus and Mars are energetic enterprises, impulses in your long-term desires, your social status, all of that, that can deviate from the normal. It's rebellious passions, excitable emotions, erratic self-will, restless, impatient, impulsive, fanatical courage, high nervous tension. Tendency to sexual abnormalities is a possibility because it is ruled by Venus, Taurus. So that's love as well. And you've got to try and find a more successful expression of these feelings and intensities that these planets present. And if you don't, there'll be a tendency to eccentricity, irritability, and extreme self-will. Okay, so what does Mars in Taurus signify? Because it's a fixed sign. So Mars is the other of the traditional planets. There are 7 in Hellenistic astrology. Mars in Taurus is being industrious, tenacious, practical, purposeful, or sensuous, extremely obstinate, and even violent, because Mars is a planet of accidents, violence, cutting, war, arguments, and with Uranus it can happen unexpectedly, suddenly, erratically. So just to be aware of that. So I'm going to put this aside, pause this video, and then give you the energies of the 8th and the 11th house as we go along. Or maybe I should just do it with the planets there. Okay, so the 8th house is overcoming the 11th house. So what is the 8th house about? So the 8th house is a house of transformation. It is a difficult house. It's about resources once again, but other people's resources that you would benefit from, like your partner's money, joint finances, shared property, bank loans, mortgages, alimony, legal settlements, insurance payout, lotto settlements, tax refunds, scholarships, grants, inheritances. It also brings in a change with regards to the occult and secrets. Plots and mysteries and intrigue belong to this house. Suffering also. Passions, jealousy, sex, intimacy, and obviously death and endings is that part of that house. Divorce, breakup of deep relationship, value system of others around you you'll be looking at. It deals with remote places, deep insight, into things that are hidden, having hidden knowledge. There's a lot of hidden things there. And Cancer is intuitive as well with the moon. Extreme conditions, because of the transformation and drastic changes, deals with soulmates and trauma. Deep psychotherapy could come into it, tragedies, illness, but it's psychological pain and healing. Your instincts are here. It deals with compulsive, addictive attachments, deep fears, emotional closures, and new beginnings. So it's quite a tough house. And then the 11th house. Now that's quite a lot easier. 11th house is a house of teamwork, long-term goals, changes around friendships being highlighted. So you will possibly have challenges there, your relationships with your friends, questioning who are your real friends, who's taking you for a ride, friends and networks, aspirations, plans, dreams. Huge focus on teamwork and helping others on a large scale. Your ideas, your ideologies, the causes, and invention. It's humanitarian causes, social organizations, karmic alliances. 11th house is a house of good spirit. The karmic alliances with people. It's a house of gains, wealth, and opportunities. It's also the house of older siblings if you have. And then your enemy's enemy that you'll be dealing with in groups of people, group activities, hopes, wishes, long-term goals and desires, future plans, your community and society, and the nature of your associations or your place within your social circle. So those are the things that are challenging and that you are working with. So I'm going to put this aside and bring out the tarot. Okay, so there we have our tarot. And our first 3 cards are going to be on that 8th house. 3 cards for it on the 8th house for Cancer. Well, there's celebration for sure, happiness. And then 3 cards for the 11th house. Now that is your long-term goals, dreams, desires, social network. And the house of good karma or good spirit. Alright, so there we have our cards, and we have celebration, happiness, 3 of cups in that 8th house. It might be money that you're waiting for or something like that, or loan or whatever it is. But there's happiness, there's a party, there's getting together and celebrating it on an emotional level in an abundant way, feeling happy about it. King of Wands is the person that possibly could bring it through for you. It could be a male figure, but it could be your energies. It is a general reading. There's a change on the outside. Kings are changes on the outside in a very passionate, caring, fiery, creative way. Dynamic, in fact. And we on this deck, we have the 2 lions here. So that full moon in Leo has brought this closure for you in that 8th house for something new. And then we have the 7 of Cups. Now the 7 of Cups is about, you've got some choices to make around emotions, okay? And you're free to make the choice, but you're not sure quite which choice or decision to make on an emotional level, because all these cups have something of value in them. Normally it is in other decks it's a card of absolute emotional confusion, because he stands there with a silhouette, but here we see this wizard actually looking at those cups. He's not in confusion. He's reaching out to choose what he wants. So this is a decision made on an emotional level. Then the 11th house of your long-term goals, dreams, desires, and social networking. Your wealth house. 8 of Pentacles, you've been working very hard on something. It's the card of the entrepreneur. Burning the midnight oil, sacrificing emotional happiness because you put all your time into something you're working on in a practical level, maybe towards your finances or money or building property or even in your work. Here's the book. You're down to the bare bones. We see the skull here, burning the midnight oil as you polish and perfect your skill for what you are planning and working on in your social circle. 8 is the number of past and present that collide. And then Three of Wands is about, you've got the two, you made the choice. Okay, so the two wands are planted solidly in this rock. Okay, so the choice is made. Your hand is on the other rock, waiting. You expectantly waiting for something new to come into your life. You know it's coming. The other ships are coming in. So you're waiting for whatever you have sown because you know that is coming into you. And it could be a new offer in a career, in your social life, something abundant. It's a new beginning of something abundant that you've worked on for a long time. And then the Six of Swords is moving on to calmer waters, away from choppy emotions to calmer waters after a difficult time, turning your back on the past and moving with all the lessons you've learned that have been difficult with the Swords energy, something that has been difficult, you've been in conflict, and moving forward to calmer waters. It's the light at the end of the tunnel. So let's just join these and see where we go. Three of Cups, Eight of Pentacles. It's celebration about something that you've been working on with regards to your social circumstances. And then Magician. So there's something new that comes through here. Yeah, with regards maybe to your long-term dreams, desires, and goals. Something you've worked on. The Magician is a new beginning, saying that you have all the skills that is needed for this new journey that you are walking on. There's a new path. You're walking on it, and you can do anything. Take charge of your life. You can manifest what you need to be a success. Absolutely, because you've perfected your skill. The King of Wands and the Three of Wands Spirit. Queen of Summer. That's beautiful. That is your energy. It's the Queen of Cups. And the Queen of Summer is loving, comforting, emotional, and intuitive. It is mature energy. It is a queen. So there's either emotional support from somebody, or you're feeling emotionally happy, or there's a woman that supports you on an emotional level. So it's also about listening to your emotions. So we have the summer and all these lanterns that are lit around her. So there's something bright. We have the sunflowers here. They turn this face to the sun because it's growth. And sunflowers nurture. They nurture the birds. They nurture people. They have nourishment. So the card is about listen to your heart, intuitive insights that you can trust, taking care of others, and perhaps even maybe too much. And then our last card, Seven of Cups and Six of Swords. Okay. This is a card of Capricorn. You might be dealing with a Capricorn in your life, but it is also Pluto in Capricorn. It is the card of the Devil as well, card which is a 6, but it's also about challenging things. So the Devil is about something that you've been tied to that is actually toxic, but you can't seem to set yourself free. So you're in a work position that you absolutely hate, that is draining you, but you can't let go because you need the physical resources. Those are circumstances that keep us bound, although we're unhappy in it. So that's a toxic relationship, and we need to have that. We need the finances. So there's this dilemma between a rock and a hard place. So the Devil card in this deck is so beautifully depicted, where you normally see two people chained by their neck to the devil, where they can't set themselves free. These two people, or two fairies, don't have any chains on their necks. They are free. And what are they doing? They're burning all the things that have been put on them, having guilt, having this, having shame, being chained to something. They're throwing it in the fire. They're setting themselves free. They have set themselves free, doing it gleefully. Isn't that beautiful? There's the setting yourself free. And Spirit is saying, after being through something difficult, and we all have over the last 2.5 years, there's maybe the illusion of still being trapped, maybe placing too much importance on material items, because we have this here, or maybe in work, and getting caught up in fear and worry. So maybe Spirit is saying, set yourself free, leave it, trust in the process. There's always a reason and a season and a lifetime in everything. Okay, and the last card, an oracle card, Spirit, just on the overall message for Cancer for the month of 21. Thank you, Spirit. Is in reverse and it's Elm, saying trust your intuition. So in reverse, you obviously are not trusting your intuition as well. So I'm going to pause this and then read it from the book. Okay, so reverse, there are things you are not seeing or do not want to see around you. You are ignoring the signs and your own instincts. If you continue, situations will become more complicated and convoluted. Do not make any major decisions at this time. Do not allow others to pressure you into choices. If you are not comfortable with them, that is a signal to delay or to decline. Assert your will. So there we have it. There is this balance. Don't feel guilty or forced or anything of the sort as well. You are free to make your own choices. Trust your intuition. Trust that gut. Go with it. Because you're on your way to calmer waters. So I'm going to leave it at that. Send you all love and all the best for the month ahead of 21, and see you on Inch again. All love. Thank you.